They're still warm. That is so good. Homemade donuts. There is nothing better on a Sunday morning than a freshly cooked donut. Today we're going to attempt to make them from scratch. It's the first time we've done it here, so let's give it a try. So when you make donuts, it is a yeast dough, so you need to have your cup of milk. It's 1 cup of milk. I'm going to put in some honey, about a tablespoon of honey. You can also use a tablespoon of sugar. You need some sort of sugar or sweetener in there to activate your yeast. And then we need 2 1/4 teaspoons of your yeast. Today I'm using active dry. And we're going to just mix this up and set it aside and let that yeast bloom. Make sure your milk is not too hot. I do always use a thermometer to check it. You do not want it to be above 120 degrees. Right around 110 to 115 is kind of the sweet spot. All right, so we'll set this aside and then we'll get our flour ready. We need 4 cups of flour. I don't know if you can hear my dogs barking. They're outside. They're playing. All right, so 4 cups of flour. And to that, we're going to add 1/3 cup of sugar. We do need some nutmeg, and I like to use freshly grated nutmeg. You can use the already grated nutmeg if you have that. I just feel like the freshly grated nutmeg has such a stronger flavor and it smells so good. Okay, and then we're going to add some salt. About a teaspoon of salt. And we're going to mix this together. While we wait for this, the yeast mixture to become ready to use, for that yeast to wake up. All right, so that did not take long. I barely had enough time to get some of my kitchen cleaned up. We're going to pour this into our flour. And we're going to add in 6 tablespoons of melted butter. I melted this before I even heated up my milk, so it was nice and cool before I put it into my mixture because I don't want to cook my eggs before we can fry this dough. Let's add that in. And then 2 eggs, 2 large eggs if you have them. And we're going to add in some vanilla. This is our homemade vanilla that we made a few weeks back. And I can already tell that I'm getting kind of low here. Some of my vanilla beans are going to be sticking up out of this soon. So I have two choices. I could either add more vodka to this or pour it all out into smaller jars and just use the smaller jars. It is up to you how you do that. Okay, and now we're going to whisk it together. I do like to use this when I do any of my doughs. When I'm doing them by hand, it makes the work so much easier. You can do this in a stand mixer if you want to. I just prefer doing it by hand. I feel like I have a lot more control, and I can tell if I'm going to need more flour or more liquid a lot earlier on without over mixing my dough. Okay, so this dough is ready to be turned out onto a lightly floured surface. It is still a bit sticky, but I think it's going to be just fine. And I just used all-purpose flour for this. You can do bread flour if you wanted to. I just don't have bread flour. I always just have all-purpose flour. All right, let me clean this off. This dough is very, very sticky. You're going to want to knead this by hand for about 7 minutes, just like you would any other bread dough. That is all donuts are basically, is just a sweetened bread dough that you fry. I can already tell I'm going to need to add a lot more flour to this. I'm getting pretty sticky. So this is a very well hydrated dough, which is why it's so sticky to your fingers. One thing you can do, instead of always adding flour to it, because the more you knead it, the less sticky it's going to be, you can get a scraper and just get it scraped up off of the work surface and then continue to knead. And you can see it's starting to get a little bit less sticky. And that's because we're building up the gluten and it's making it a stronger dough without making it a dense dough, if that makes sense. So just keep working it. It'll be fine. It's already so much better. Not quite there yet, but way better than it was. And I only added about not even half a cup of flour extra than the 4 cups that we used. I didn't want to do too much because I don't want this dough to be really dense. Some of my favorite donuts are the ones that are nice and light and airy, and that's kind of what I'm hoping we get here. Okay. There we go. Still a little bit sticky, but you can see it is not nearly as bad as it was. Okay, once your dough feels like it's getting nice and smooth, then you're done. We're almost there. The more you make dough, the easier it is for you to feel the texture of it and to know when you're ready to stop kneading. Okay, when I push on this dough, you can see it bounces it back pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in our bowl, the same bowl that we used earlier, and I'm gonna cover it with some saran wrap and a towel. I like to do both. And we're gonna let it rise for about 2 hours. So our dough is done rising. We're gonna go ahead and get our glaze done first. We're just gonna do a simple glazed donut today. I do have 2 cups of powdered sugar here that I have sifted through to get all of the lumps out. I don't know if you remember my honey bun video. I didn't sift the powdered sugar in that so you could see lumps. All right, we're gonna put in some heavy whipping cream. You can use whole milk if you wanted to. And I'm just gonna do a little bit at a time to get the consistency that I want. I'm also gonna add in the vanilla at this time. About a teaspoon of vanilla. And we're gonna whisk this together and see if we need to add more milk or not. And I can tell that I still need some milk. It's pretty thick. So we're gonna add a little bit more, heavy cream, not milk. You can mix it up and do heavy cream and milk if you wanted to, or just milk. If you did just milk, make sure it's whole milk, not low fat. All right, this is already getting better. I'm going to add a splash more of the heavy cream. Look at that. We're almost there. Perfect. A little bit more of this heavy cream. There we go. That is the consistency that we're looking for. It's going to be great. We're going to ice these donuts when they're still warm, right after they come out of the oil. So we want to make sure our glaze is ready to go. I don't want to be fumbling around trying to make the glaze while my donuts are cooling off. Okay, perfect. I am going to add a little bit of this Karo syrup. It's just going to make them a little bit more glossy. You don't need a lot. That's probably half a tablespoon or 2 teaspoons, close to that. Just going to give it that glossy finish. It did not change the consistency hardly at all. All right. Perfect. We're going to set this aside and then get our sheet pans ready for our donuts. So I have 2 different sheet pans here. My bigger one, I have covered in parchment paper. And then this is a normal size sheet pan with aluminum foil or tin foil and a cooling rack on top. This is for after the donuts have cooked. And this is for the donuts while we cut them out and they're resting. We'll need this. All right, so let's get our dough. And it has doubled in size. So you can just punch this down, and we're going to turn it out on a floured surface. I love you too, Dylan. All right. This is looking amazing already. Let's set this aside. So you're going to take your dough and you're just going to roll it out. You want it to be about 1/2 inch thick. And those of you that know me know that I am not a perfect baker or a perfect cook, so mine are going to come out the way that they come out, and that's just fine. All right, I think that's going to be good. I don't have a donut cutter. What I do have though is 2 different sized pastry cutters. You can use these for biscuits. In fact, my yellow biscuit cutter was out of this set. All right, so what we're gonna do is take this. We'll probably have to put some flour on it. So I just dip it into my flour. So the bottom edge is a straight edge. This top edge is fluted, so you can make like certain shortbread cookies and stuff. All right, so I'm gonna take this and just cut out our donuts, and you're not supposed to twist it. If you twist it, apparently it seals in the edges and they won't rise when they're cooking. And it's very hard for me not to twist it because I'm so used to making biscuits, and I like to twist the biscuits out. And so I'm trying really hard not to do that. Just letting the cutter do its job with just pressure from my hands. I'm not sure how many donuts this is going to make, so we'll see. Am I gonna get a donut? Nope. All right, so I'm gonna use this one. This is the smallest cutter that I have. It's a little bit too big, I think, but we're gonna go for it. It's really, really big. That's okay, we'll just go for it. We'll see what happens. So really you want a smaller hole in the middle, and ours are gonna be very large, but that's okay. I did not feel like buying a donut cutter just for this. I have a hard time buying things that only have one purpose. But maybe I'll find another thing in my house that I can use another time to make these holes smaller. In the meantime, we're just gonna have skinny donuts, and that's okay. And really big donut holes. All right, so let's pull these donuts off. We'll need to separate out the donut holes. This one didn't cut all the way through, so let's redo that. There we go. All right, here's our first donut. We're gonna put it on our cookie sheet with our donut hole and keep going. So we have a lot of leftover dough. We're just going to push it back together. Try not to knead it too much. You don't want them to be hard. And we're gonna roll it out and see if we can do this again. This has made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 donuts so far. And we're gonna keep going until we don't have any more dough. So I don't want any of this dough to go to waste, so my last few donuts are actually a little bit weird. This one's pretty thick. It got harder to roll out the dough as we went on. It's okay, we're still gonna eat them. They're gonna be fine. This will be my last donut. It's not quite a circle, and it has some weird stuff going on because of all the folds in it. That's okay. It's gonna still be good. Just going to look a little bit weird, but I don't mind things looking weird. They're still gonna taste great. All right, so what we need to do now is just cover these up and let them rest. So we have about 1 to 2 quarts of oil in here. It's just canola oil. You can use any oil that you want to. We prefer canola oil. I do have it turned on and it has heated up to 375 degrees. Make sure you're using a thermometer to check your oil so it's not too hot. And we're gonna take some of our donuts and we're gonna place them in there. I'm gonna only do about 3 donuts at a time, and we're gonna put them in there carefully, and they'll cook about 1 to 2 minutes per side. So they'll sink to the bottom at first, but then they rise up to the top. And in my hometown, when I was a kid, my cousin's grandma had a donut shop, and I would watch them make their donuts, and when they would fry them, they would use sticks, like chopsticks, to help turn them. So that's what we're going to use today. And we have this basket to pull them out onto our cookie sheet. I still have the donut holes to cook, but these are done and they're starting to cool off. So I wanted to get them iced before they got too cool. You want to ice them when they're still warm. So we're just going to do the tops and the bottoms. We're going to do the whole thing. And this gets messy, but that's okay. It's gonna be so delicious.
That's so good.
It smells so good.
I agree with Abby right now.
You agree with Abby? So Abby said that the donut smells like the ones that you buy. They smell delicious, right, Dylan?
Uh-huh.
Huh, Abby?
Yeah.
All right, which one do you want to try first, the donut hole or the donut? Donut hole. Let's do donut holes first. They're still warm. That is so good. I don't know if you can see in there. It's nice and soft.
Oh yeah, it's spongy too. With
It's spongy.
with bread
Mm-hmm.
and with like powdered sugar. Pretty good.
Mm-hmm. It's a little crunchy on the outside.
Oh yeah.
Nice and soft on the inside. Dylan says it's a little bit spongy on the inside, but delicious, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, ready? All right, let's try.
Mm. That glaze is so good.
The glaze is good.
And given my lunch guy.
That is really, really good. What do you think, Abby? All right, I think this was a winner. Is it a hit?
Yes.
Yes. You like it? So if you would like to see another breakfast type dessert, I'm going to link one for you here. And I really hope you make these. They were so good, so easy to make. Just took time to let the dough rise, but cooking them in the oil did not take long at all. And please give us a like and a subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.